It's exactly 9 after the hour 6 on the Mighty Metro FM. That is the voice of Jose Ribeiro, the coach of Orlando Pirates, explaining, and I'm glad he did, because seemingly, when we speak of squad rotation, it's different meanings for so many out there. But that is his version of it. What do you make of that? It's 9 after the hour 6. It's Podcast Fridays! The boys are in the building. They're all here. There's a lot to talk about. Sean Bartlett says that on here, you're speaking to us on the show, if they finish 14th, he'll be happy. He said this before they played Swallows and lost that game too. He's a friend of the room and we wish him the very best of luck. 5 games now, no wins. Then we'll go to another one. Jabulani Blom comes on. We speak to him all the way in the USA and he says, I'm not sure what Coach Hugo Bruce is talking about because I am playing regularly. All right? Yes, I've been injured. Yes, I've been suspended here and there, but I'm playing regularly. And then Hugo Bruce, he's called up his squad to play the 2 games now and the 2 games later in October. 4 games that include Ivory Coast, Congo DR, Swaziland, as well as Namibia. Those are the 4 games that are going to be played. He's called up the squad and including saying that no Chiefs player deserves to be there. Nadim says he disagrees with that. We'll go into that and so much more. Plus, we'll build up to the weekend. Kaizer Chiefs take on Sundowns. What do the guys think of that matchup? It's a Chiefs now that's scoring goals and won 2 games in a row. It's a Sundowns that's yet to lose a match. We've got Stellenbosch versus Orlando Pirates. We'll go into that one as well. Welcome to it. Pro Pilani, Nadim, and of course, Mkonza, all in the building.
Podcast Friday on Sports Night Amplified with Andile on Metro FM. Powered by SABC Sport.
Exactly 13 after the hour 6. It's your favorite show of the week. It's Podcast Fridays. Hey, man, Bega, just a couple of guys sitting talking about football. That's it. Those guys happen to be one of them, and I'll get to him in a bit. He's just played at the highest level. He's Captain Bafana. The other, when it comes to football anywhere in the regions, and if you get onto Twitter, he's the leader of football on there. The other used to be the man that did all the research for all of SABC Sport. Just a couple of guys sitting around the table speaking about football. Let me start in Durban. He's the mayor of all things football. On Twitter, he runs those streets. Pro Pilani, welcome.
Good evening to Andile. Good evening to the Champions Studio. And good evening to the listeners of this number 1 sports show in South Africa.
Towards the end of the show, we asked the guys who's been the player that's been most impressive this week. Last 2 weeks ago was Aliende. Last week it was, who did we decide on last week? Who did you decide on last week? Timmy will remind us. And then we also asked them which team needs the most help. We'll get into that as well with the guys as they give us their best of the week in terms of player and worst of the week in terms of team. Mkonza, he's played for almost every team in the DSTV Premiership, but captain, of course, of Bafana as well as the leader of Mnandi Academy. Doc?
Emakhaya nilalele ngithi ayisesikhona ke manje ezimnandi zibuzwa la sizo-ayina esikwatile manje bathi into emnandi yaphindwa sizoyi-ayina ke namhlanje.
He's the most controversial person on radio. I don't care what you're listening to, whether it's sport or music. When it comes to controversy, he's it. But he backs it up with facts, and that's why when you call to take him on, most of you lose out. Nadim is here.
Oh, I thought you mean Mkonza's controversial. But I am not that controversial. Thank you, Andy. It's good to be here.
Last week it was Aliende, and then again was Aliende for the second time, and then Nadim was the only different who said Musale, Goodman Musale. Those are the 2 players.
I thought Musale then that week, then Parker last week.
Parker?
Yeah, Parker played well against Chiefs.
I don't remember that one last week. You said Goodman Musele last week.
No, the first one was Goodman Musele, remember?
And then last week was Parker?
Yes,
okay,
it was Bernard Parker. Yeah.
I don't remember. 15 after the hour 6. What we do on the show is we bring up a topic and we discuss that topic. And that topic normally comes from what has happened on this show during the week. So let's get straight into it, gentlemen. There's a lot to talk about before we get to what you guys have chosen as the best this way and that way. Let's start perhaps with Jabulani Blom. I had Jabulani Blom on the show. We spoke about everything in America, how it's going there, and him playing consistently or not. First, have a listen to what Jabulani Blom had to say.
Yeah, like I don't know about that, but after the injury, I've been playing games. It was only like last cup game where I didn't play because of had a.
And the game against Nashville.
Nashville, that's the cup game I'm talking about.
Oh, is that the one you missed?
Groin injury. I came on second half. Yeah.
So then you are consistent. You are playing. You are getting your 90 minutes in.
Yeah. I'm playing consistently and I'm getting my game time here.
I asked him again just to make sure, because when you look at the stats and you look at how many games he's played, I'm not sure if we can say that's consistent. So I asked him again. I said, Jabulo, are you playing? This is Jabulani Blom. Is it just, we don't have another one there. Well, you get the gist of it from there, and you guys have gone and done your research. So let me go to Pro Pilani. Pro?
But Andile, what I can tell you with Jabulani Blom is definitely part and parcel of our plans on 84. I don't know what mind games are they playing with us, but I know that when it comes to World Cup qualifiers, Jabulani Blom will be here, and I know that all the US-based players will be here. So for me, I really don't understand what mind games are they playing when it comes to these two friendlies in particular. Because we know that it's a long trip from America to South Africa. So I don't know why are they using the time as an excuse of not calling out these players instead of telling us the truth. That traveling from USA to South Africa, it's a long trip. They don't think it's worth it for the players. They need the players for.
But he explained the other two players. Hlongwane is injured, as we know, and Kaizer Chiefs hasn't even settled yet.
But Andile, Kaizer Chiefs does not need to settle in the US. You've been calling him before. You fought to the under-23 coach for the player. So if really they needed him for the friendlies, they would have called him. The issue of settling down, I don't think it's an excuse that one can use. In my opinion, I think that the players will be back for the World Cup qualifiers. They just don't see the reason or the need to call them for these two friendlies.
Well, let's hear it from Hugo, because I hear what you're saying when Jabulo about Jabulo when a pro, but let's hear it from Hugo. This is what Hugo said.
I don't know what happens with Blom. Sometimes he plays, then for 3-4 weeks he don't play. So I prefer then to take Magerman and to give him his chance to prove himself than to take again Blom, also someone who didn't play so much the last 2 weeks.
Mkwanza?
Yo, Andile, it's good for me how I look at it. One, when I made my research, I look at there was a communication breakdown between Team Blom and Safa in terms of Blom couldn't travel according to the team. So I'm confused. Is it a question of form or is the question of coach is not happy with the consistency Blom? Because sometimes lama dynamics lawa ayavela and avela kanjani. Yes, team comes into the team. Mangaman comes into the team, and Mangaman has been consistent. So I think what I like about Hugo Bros Andile, he's very consistent with what he wants and he knows what he wants. I'm not doubting quality Blom, but I still believe that there's a communication breakdown between Safa and the St. Louis team Blom for me.
Nadim?
Yeah, Jabulani Blom has been played 18 matches since he moved on to St. Louis in the MLS. It's not about playing. Maybe the coach should have just spoken to the team or checked their stats. American stats, they're very good with statistics. Football statistics is there. I watch him a lot at night. He's always been part of the team, unless he's injured or otherwise. If you played 18 matches since he left, it shows that he's been part and parcel of the team. The coach, of course, it doesn't favor him to be in the national team. He just didn't want to say. He just didn't want to say he's one of my key players in the team. He prefer maybe Mkoena. Of course, I'm saying he doesn't prefer him to be in the team. He's like one of his key players. If he was going to call him. He was not going to. Maela has not been playing at Pirates. Has not even started a single match, but he's in the team. Marco, we all know that he's the one who's been playing left back. So there are lots of players who have not been playing in their team, but they're in the national team. So it has nothing to do with playing. It goes with the coach what he wants. Yes, the coach will always select players that he feels will help him in the national team. That's how all coaches all over the world, that's how they select the national team. But sometimes when you ask a coach for a 30-minute interview, obvious, what are you expecting him to say? He's not going to say what he thinks. Sometimes he doesn't want. You want to breathe. Maybe
I asked him for an hour. It was an hour.
Exactly. No. But those kind of things, sometimes the coach is not going to really become transparent. But maybe in future, Mkwena can get injured, then say, let me call Blom. But if I say this thing, he might not be motivated to join the national team after that.
Well, I mean, that's not the only thing he says. And to Hugo Bruce's defense in what we're about to play now, he didn't. I mean, I did an entire hour with him. Yeah. Matlat Mpatlela is the one that went afterwards and asked him about the fact that I think there's five. If you look at the squad, it's consisting of SuperSport, Orlando Pirates and Sundowns players. Yeah. That's the majority. Then you've got like a Kukune here and a Namazulu there from the local players. Then he was asked about Kaizer Chiefs. He answered this based on the fact that he was asked about it. This is what he said.
It's important that the top teams are in the top of the ranking. Okay, Pirates won yesterday, so there is only, 5 points difference, I think, between Sundowns. With Kaizer Chiefs, it's 8 points, I think. This is too much. Huh? Only 5 games and you're already 8 points behind who is first. And it's not a little team who is first. Huh? So, yes, Chiefs has to improve. And when I see the games, I was was Sunday or Saturday, I was on the game of Chiefs. I'm very sorry, but now for the moment, there is no player who deserves to be a Bafana player. player.
Nadim disagrees. He says there definitely is a player that should be there who plays for Kaizer Chiefs. We'll get into that when we come back. It's Podcast Friday. It's 18:23 on the Mighty Metro FM. Sports are amplified with Andile at exactly 18:45. Taking your calls. Write it down now. 086 000 2160. WhatsApp on 060 552 7303. The call line again, 086 000 2160. We're going to be getting into the MTN8 first leg preview. Rulana Mukwena says that God is a Chiefs supporter. Mulifenseki says Sundowns are a bunch of benefiters. We'll get into that. But firstly, let's get into the Hugo Bruce Kaizer Chiefs matter. Nadim, I'm going to come to you last. Mkonza, you're an advocate for Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
Week in, week out, you speak about how...
Ay, man, no, I'm man.
We can even see a soccer jersey here. Yeah.
We're going to cheese, namhlanje. Pilari, I know you're in Durban.
Where's the camera? Where's the camera?
No, there's a camera on him there. Everyone on Facebook can see him. Mamela.
Yeah,
Hugo Bruce, Umzulu Tini Kaizer Chiefs announced. Do you agree? At the moment, is there a Chiefs player that can get into the squad?
Andile, as much as but honesty needs to be told. I mean, even last season, there was no Chiefs player that has improved in terms of the performances. And national team Chiefs, it's a big problem. Because when you play for Chiefs, I'm not saying I'm a selectors, they only look at Kaizer Chiefs. But for any player that plays for Kaizer Chiefs, an opportunity to get a national team. If you play well and ever constant, because I'm a player and next week, don't get easy. But any coach wants consistency and tactics and a selection yak and in relation to his philosophy. So Hugo Prosper as he moves but they actually sponsor us and
so he's right, basically, is what you're saying.
No, he's right. Improve as far as
I mean, can you believe how far Keegan Dolly has fallen off the national team?
Yeah. Has he performed? And we were not selecting based on the profile. We selected based on the form and how you can fit into the philosophical purpose.
Pro.
Kaizer Chiefs is a big team. Is the biggest team in the country. And to play for Kaizer Chiefs is not for everyone. So it's a team that I understand that at one stage Abomkonza got an opportunity, but there are players that are very good. That when you look at them and you ask yourself, why are these players not part of the national team? And you tend to realize, there's something wrong. Maybe within the structure of the Kaizer Chiefs, I don't know. But when you look at players like Yusuf Mark, at one stage he was in the national team, and Hugo Bruce looked at him and said, no, this player cannot be in the national team going forward because his performances keep on dropping. And sometimes some of the players are unjust unfairly, and are just unfairly purely because the team is not doing well. Yes, sir.
Umart no Modi. Yes, they were regulars. Go arrows na go Good Chiefs, they still have to perform. We are in game number 4. And that's why it's going to marinate to see if but play.
So you're saying when they got to Chiefs, they then they went down in performance? They went backwards? They're not as good as they were when they were with those teams?
No. Modi is the only player, not because of the goals, who's raised his hand now. Umart have said it. We even fought to show him now. Umart hasn't performed. Influence come out in the midfield. The reason Chiefs doesn't dominate. You spoke about Chiefs not having ball position. Why? Because there's no influence.
Even in the games they've won.
Yeah, so there's no ball position or Munto dictated ball position because Umart hasn't performed the right way to influence the Chiefs game. And that's why Chiefs have.
But what Pro is saying is, why are individual players judged according to Chiefs' performance? Because if that's the case, I can then say Lyle Foster shouldn't be in the squad. Where are Burnley sitting?
Yeah.
Why are we not judging Lyle Foster based on what Burnley are doing? So should we not look at individuals and say individuals at Chiefs are good? Are there any good individuals at Chiefs? Nadim, you say there are. There is somebody who you think in this national team should have been there.
Of course, I do believe that basically their left back is better than... Okay, starting with... Spiso Hlanti, I do believe that is better than Nico Mobi. I honestly...
He might quit. Yeah?
I do believe he's a better left back than Mobi. I think he's good enough. He's played many times in the national team before. He played and won with Vets. Was very key when they won the league with Vets. And he's an experienced left back. Even in the national team, I think it's almost on par with Maela and them. I honestly don't believe it's far off. So if you look at Brendan Peterson again, you have a goalkeeper that's coming from Amazulu who are 12 points behind Sundowns, who are number 1, and the player is selected in the national team. Are you going to tell me that then Mota is better than Brendan Peterson? I honestly think the coach is not about it's
Yeah,
playing.
but-
It's
but
not. It's
Natima-
not wait,
Natima,
wait,
how
Pilane.
many
You
teams say-
had your
how
chance,
many
Pilane.
teams say
Wait. You had your chance. Sit down. There are players. There are players at Kaizer Chiefs who I feel that deserve to be in the national team. But the problem.
You've given me one.
I understand two.
Who else? You said
I said
Atlantic?
Brendan Peterson and Plant.
And Brendan Peterson.
Yes, I understand why the coach is not selecting them though, because they are not being coached properly. Remember, Kaizer Chiefs have been having a coaching problem for the past 2 years when they selected others one. The coach sees that the players are not improving in the national team under those coaches. I did say Molefe. I don't know what Pilane and Mkonza saw when they said Nzeg is a good guy, is gonna coach Chiefs, he has done well, is the right candidate to coach Chiefs. Their players are not improving at Kaizer Chiefs. Now we're sitting with Chiefs where, sure, they've won 2 matches against AmaZulu as well as against Stellenbosch, but they are yet to play well. They are not improving. All of them, Yusuf Matis Kukune, rightfully so, Mkonza was right. Kukune was playing well, but the Chiefs, he has not improved from where you are. The coach is worrying that the players are not improving at Chiefs, and it's not their fault. They don't have the right guy. The coaches are not improving them.
Unfortunately, time's not on our side. We've got to move on. We give a certain topic enough time, and we gave this one a lot of time. I know it's going to solicit a reaction from you. 086 000 2160. Let's go to the last one as far as the stories are concerned. We spoke to Sean Bartlett here on the show. He's a friend of the room. He's one coach that's always a straight shooter, never ducks an interview, comes on here, says things as they are. He came on here just before he played Swallows. At the time, he had conceded 7 goals, scored 1. He had not won a single match. Listen to what Sean Bartlett had to say.
Well, I've said to the club, listen, first season back in the DSTV Premiership, everybody wants to be successful. We want to exceed expectation. But the best case scenario for this club would be 14th place. We want to stay in the DSTV Premiership. That's the ultimate goal.
I think by what he's saying, yes, he says the best thing we can do is 14th. And when you say it like that, I think it sounds bad. But all he's saying is, all we want to do this season is keep our status and not go into the relegation battle. Pro, anything wrong with what Sean Bartlett said?
Everything is wrong, Andile. You can't concede so early and you're saying that you are playing for number 14. I think for me, personally, it came out wrong. I know that you are trying to be modest and you are trying to show us that he's trying to be realistic and all those kind of things, but I don't think that it was the right comment for a person of Coach Sean Bartlett's caliber. And I think personally...
But what do you mean caliber?
No, Sean Bartlett is a good coach. He qualified the team through relegation promotion. So that's
he's an NFT coach, not PSL. No, he's a good coach for any. Okay,
yeah, but my team, you were saying I must sit down and I must let you finish.
Okay, sorry.
But you are not letting me finish.
Sorry with
yeah,
that.
But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, Sean Bartlett, what he said, I don't think it's right. I don't think that he should have said it. I don't think that for a coach in the PSL setup, he should say some of those things. You can't say you are playing to finish 14th. That's all.
Let's confront reality, La Pilane. I mean, Ushon, I think, is being realistic with his side. And obviously, we looked at signings waka wenzi. I was saying to Andile, signings wake, there was no regular. The regulars were Umsani, who played 25 matches. That means at the time back at the playoffs, his scouting police Sabo didn't go to expand their squad, to expand the squad and reinforce the squad. Number 2, very more to promote you.
He spoke here about the fact that, I mean, they don't have the money that the big teams have. So, you can only have so many loanees in a season.
Yes.
And also, when you're busy playing the playoffs and you're not sure what's going on, it's hard to go looking for players.
And Andy, I told you, how many games do you give a coach? I said, his position Gashon, Umniga 10, he has set up a very good foundation. 5-year absence Ajax in Cape Town Spurs in Ekelikin. So Mkai chance kuta konuk sebenza because akafana my team. I mean, you are using loanies here. You are not a player wako zo pila now. Season my player la player kala panzi vievi. So realistically, mandate Gashon, I think Gashon is low expecting to say, I know must be 14 is a safe status Simnandi, but next season we'll start to compete. This season is laying a good foundation for Cape Town Spurs.
I disagree with him, Konza. I think it's very wrong. Richards Bay were promoted and they did well in the PSL with NFT players. Did
they go through qualifiers?
Okay, but look at that. Sean Bartlett, I don't disagree with him. He has never... Remember when he coached Golden Arrows? He took them to the NFT. And he's not a PSL coach, let us be honest. He was a top player, was a great striker for Bafana. He's a very good analyst, television analyst. He's a top analyst. When it's come to coaching, he's not a PSL guy. It's good that I saw Mshini in one of the games. It shows that Mshini might take over soon from Sean Bartlett at Cape Town Space, and that team will start winning. No. That team is good enough to fight to be in the PSL. because there's not that much gap between it. We've seen Swallows getting promoted. We've seen so many NFD teams getting promoted and staying in the PSL. Sean Bartlett is just like, he's right when he says
I can't wait for him to
he's
prove
right.
you wrong.
He's right when he's saying 14th place is the best that he can do. Another coach can say higher than that. I can even push to make the top 8.
I can't wait for him to prove you wrong.
Andile, what defines an NFT coach?
No. What defines an NFT coach? There are players there are coaches that are very good in the NFT, but when it's come to the PSL, they will struggle. I mean, I don't know why I even have to answer.
Are you talking about what? You don't even know. The quality of football in the PSL and the quality of coaching and players is a little bit more than those coaches can handle?
No. I just mean a coach like Steve Kombele is a PSL coach. He has done well in the PSL, being the top 8, almost win trophies. How many seasons has he had in the PSL for him to prove that? I am saying there are players like Siema, who's a PSL coach. He has done well in the PSL. Even at Celtics, now he's doing well.
You don't think he deserves more of a chance?
I don't think Sean Bartlett is the right coach for Cape Town Space. I don't think he's good enough to coach in the PSL. Mkonza, I understand. Some of the players he played with them. He has to be nice. He has to be nice with them.
I have to end the chair. That's the end of this conversation. It's 18:34. We take a break. When we come back on the other side, we move on to a match that has gunned up so much interest in South Africa. It's a Kaizer Chiefs that needs to be where they are for this match to be interesting. They're coming out of scoring goals. They're coming out of winning games. Molefe, the coach, says he's not scared of the Sundowns because the Sundowns has been benefiting. Rulani Mokoena says God must be a Chiefs supporter.
Podcast Friday on Sports Night Amplified with Andile on Metro FM. Powered by SABC Sport.
Remember, top of the hour, we're out of here and we make way for Lulu as well as Naked. But at 18:45, we take your calls on 086-0002-160. A lot has been said. You can cover any of it. Hugo Bruce, Jabulani Blom, Kaizer Chiefs, Sean Bartlett, and we can go on. We're about to add a little bit more to that now as we go MTN8 first leg. It is Kaizer Chiefs that take on Sundowns, and then it's Stellenbosch that host Orlando Pirates. It's a double-legged one, remember, so it is going to give us 2 legs of this thriller of matches coming up. And then next week, Friday, we'll be touching on Bafana before they go and play their first game versus Namibia. And then on Tuesday, it's Congo DR. Those games all live on SABC Sport. This weekend, MTN8, both games live on SABC Sports and SABC One, so you can catch them there. Today, though, Podcast Friday, I've got Propilane at Propilane, Mkonza, Dr. Nandi Academy, and Nadim, who is with us. But before we get into the games, guys, as per usual, I want to go to Opta Jabu. Follow them. It's at Opta Jabu, and let's get some of the stats about these games. We all enjoy a good stat in football. Opta.
Andile, good evening to you. Good evening to the listeners as well.
Oh, man, all the way out in Cape Town. We're covering the length and breadth of this country. Linda Lomoyo representing at Opta Jabu. I see now, Opta, coaches even following and using some of your stuff. I absolutely love it. You're doing such a great job. But let's get straight into it. We spoke a little bit about Sean Bartlett now. What do you have on Sean Bartlett and Spurs?
So what we have, Andile, is that they are still very much alive. Cape Town Spurs are the 4th side in PSL history to have lost all 5 of their season opening games.
Oh, so this is not a first. They're the 4th side. Who are the other 3?
So we have Bushbucks in 1999, we have Maritzburg in 2020, and Polokwane as well in 2013.
And what did all these teams finish at the end of the season after losing 5 games in a row?
So that's what's interesting, is that none of these sides were relegated. Bushbucks finished 13th, Maritzburg also 13th, and Polokwane City, they were 15th and survived via the playoffs.
So 13th, 13th, and 15th.
Yeah.
These are the other 3 teams that have started with 5 games. These are the other teams.
Alphinde Opta unadim ngathi uyamstress alphinde.
No, leave it alone. Chiefs versus Sundowns. Talk to me about that game.
So if there's one thing about Kaizer Chiefs, that they have a very good record against Sundowns. They're one team, historically speaking at least, they've had Sundowns' number for a while. So when you talk about the league, they have a better record there. The only existing team that has beaten Sundowns in more matches than they have lost.
I wonder how many, I wonder what that would look like if you take into consideration only the last 10 years. Because I wonder if it's historic, Opta.
If the last 10 years, it starts to change, of course, and then Sundowns become dominant.
So talk to me about the recent domination of that league since, let's say, 2010?
So if we're talking about Sundowns versus Kaizer Chiefs since 2010, it's not a good story. Whether it's home or away, I'm going to read that out here right now. So, home or away, Sundowns have won for now In fact, they have lost just one of the last 8 league games against the sides. And have lost 2 of the last 12 against the side.
Yeah. So yeah, that's see historically.
So why did you start with the first state, the old one from 1978, 1985?
No, but I mean, football is holistic.
No, Optachav must focus.
No, it's historic. Opta, before I let you go, the other game is Steelies versus Pirates.
Yes, so good news there for the Pirates. They love themselves to take a tie at Andile. Since MTN started sponsoring the top 8 competition, only one team has ever knocked Pirates out of a 2-legged MT8 semi-final.
What team is that?
That is SuperSport in 2012, which means Orlando Pirates either reach the final when they get to this stage, or they don't even get to this stage at all. 7 times reaching the final, 7 times getting knocked out in the quarterfinals.
Opta, I appreciate you. How do they follow you?
Thank you, Andile. Opta Jabu is on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well, OPTAJABU, in partnership with Laduma Analytics on the same platforms as well.
I appreciate him. It's Opta Jabu. Let's get straight into it. This is what Rulani Mokoena had to say about Kaizer Chiefs.
Situations when Pirates played Chiefs or when Swallows played Chiefs, and how many games you just saw God's divine hand falling upon Kaizer Chiefs. And it's very true. God must be a Kaizer Chiefs supporter. and there is no seriously, there is no greater compliment that could be given. No, but you guys laugh, and I'm really, really serious.
Aye, Angaz. Mulefense get this to say in return.
And I think they have benefited a lot when it comes to Sundowns. If you look at the 7 years of winning the league, there were moments where they were very lucky. So it is very normal. I think the time when Chiefs was winning, it was very normal to say things at times turn out for you. And I think if we can have that luck back, we'll be winning the league this year and winning all the trophies.
Pro, you heard from the 2 coaches. You heard the stats on these 2 games, particularly on this Chiefs Sundowns one. What do you make of the clash? Sundowns versus Kaizer Chiefs, Mulefenseke versus Rulani Mokoena.
The biggest challenge for Kaizer Chiefs with Andile is that only Itumele Nkune has enjoyed more success against Sundowns than any other player in the Chiefs setup. He has won 9 times against Sundowns, and he has lost 10 times. The next player or the second player that has enjoyed success is Fiso Shadi, who has won only 3 times. Others, they've won, Itoko and Msinang, they've only beaten Sundowns once in their careers. The rest, they've never enjoyed success against Sundowns. They've never won a football match. There's a player like Mark who has played Sundowns 5 times, and he has lost all those 5 games. Now you tell me, mentally, when those players face Sundowns, what comes through their minds? They are already expecting a defeat, so I don't see them changing anything tomorrow.
Okay, I mean, it's very simple, Andile. I mean, first of all, think correct to Rulani. We work for those. There was quality Chiefs. Chiefs is about trends. It's about the culture. We've won trophies. Never. Chiefs have worked so hard for every trophy that they've had. That is why they're the biggest club in South Africa. Number 2, game Sundowns have already collected 6 points last season. Sebathatele 3 manje. Chiefs are wounded, are going to the game Andile. Se score 5 for good last 2 games. Yeah, na Jimmy na clean sheet against Mbonile Brandon Peterson. So kusasa ke ayisiyange approach enye ke bangathuki, but abo coach lento yabe reverse psychology span. I can tell you right now, the team prepares very well to win the league. Awuveli nje win the league strategy kangekhona. You prepare for it, noma win trophy, you plan for it, and uyazi umthetho ukuthi
Mendieta, Aliende, Tembazwane, Ribeiro. How do you even play them?
So that's the strategy. It's going to be a tactical game. So we've got our own strategy. Bangaba nana abantu abanabo Maruna Tyson na uyashayeka.
I think Rulani knows something and Mkonza knows something. That's why he's so confident that they can beat Sundowns tomorrow. Rulani is right.
I mean, he was right. Mkonza said last week and said they're going to beat Amazulu.
Yeah, no, I'm not even disagreeing with Mkonza. I agree with him. I don't even believe Sundowns will leave FNP Stadium with a win tomorrow. I agree with Rulani. I've seen so many games where you feel like, okay, Chiefs, how did they win that one? No. long time ago.
Yeah, yabona.
No, but I'm saying I agree with him. I've seen so many games where Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs, like you ask yourself, how do they win? Even the last 2 matches, they've not played well. Against Amazulu, they won 3-0. Against Stellenbosch dominated that game from end to end. Chiefs 2-0. How do they win? It's one of those teams. Rulan is right.
So you think it's going to be the same tomorrow?
It's possible. It can be. It's a very, very big game. And Kaizer Chiefs are a big club, and they will have like 70%
Guys, you guys
of
are
that
analysts, man.
capacity.
You understand football better than most. How does Chiefs win that game tomorrow?
The same lucky that they've been going on against Stellenbosch.
Also, just luck.
It's a lucky football. It's a lucky.
It's
a moment of brilliance where one Peterson. I think I'm happy now that because we're not going to defend Brendan Peterson forever. That is the best goalkeeper at Kaizer Chiefs. I'm happy now that he's 2 games without conceding. He's showing that he's at Kaizer Chiefs, no longer at Vets or wherever he was playing before. Now he needs to every game he needs to be at his best and not concede. That's how Chiefs have to win. So if tomorrow it's at his best, it's one of those matches where Kaizer Chiefs can win 1-0.
Mkwanza, how do Chiefs win this game?
Like I said, it's over a tactical battle.
I want to know the tactic.
Yeah, so whoever
What does Nseki do to win this match?
Look, the reason I have to explain it holistically, yes, you can't undermine Sundowns because the quality. But now Chiefs manje, bago evolution, bago into some. So my belief is it's going to be a tactical game, and whoever wins a tactical battle, we win because you have superior players in every position and numerical superiority. And actually, Chiefs will win now.
I don't know what you just said.
No, it's always saying that.
No,
it's always
that is why.
Yes, but like sitting on the fence.
No, how is Chiefs
It's always
going to
be a tactical game. Of course, football is a tactical game.
Nge-1-0 siyabuya nje
ngitshele ngamaplay ubani uzwenzani udlala kuphi kanjani ngitshele njenge out ehlele edome ngachavi next.
Andile,
Tactical back.
I think we're not going to change the winning formula from the game that we played against Stellenbosch. We're going to come out the same way. Yes, Suchalji is coming back because Froster was playing left and now it gave us a team that is unbalanced when we want to build up. But I mean, from me, where I'm sitting, I'm like, Umori will dictate the game and will do well for us.
Pilani, you've got exactly 30 seconds. Pirates, Stellies. One of our favorite coaches here. We've spoken about how we've seen Riviero and what he's done at Orlando Pirates, and we can feel the coaching. What do you think he does against Stellies?
I think Pirates have a PMT, and they're going to take this one home and away. And I can't wait for people of Cape Town to attend the stadium and support the Stellies as usual. But I don't see Pirates having any difficulties of progressing to the final. But indeed.
Uthi Mpilani uthi PMT konje ithini? Hayi ngithi le PMT phela ngithi manje bekela thina simlandanga kahle ngoshukela uthi Pirates
big temperament.
Oh, okay.
No, it seems like when I'm calling the I think Sundowns is the only team that he has scored more goals against, but he always ends on the losing side. I think he has only won 1 game against Sundowns. So it's going to be one of those situations.
I'm Pirates fast because we need to take calls now.
Look, I think Pirates, I'm not happy with how they finished again during the week. Yes, Lipasa is on form, scoring good goals. I think Pirates last 75 minutes, his team and they need to be better. Against Stellenbosch, that is very well conditioned. But Stellenbosch now haven't been consistent. They need to do well. They've already beaten Pirates this season. So it's Nandi in a sense that Pirates are coming to this encounter wounded and like Ashilu opt. But very few of them no Pirates when it comes to this first and second semi-final.
Nadim, I'm not even going to go to Pirates with you. Who's your player of the week?
Okay, Pirates for me. I still want to go that one.
Very quickly.
I don't believe they will win in Cape Town. I see home win or draw.
Player of the week.
Player of the week, that Ribeiro from Sundowns.
Ribeiro from Sundowns. Yeah, 4 goals in the league now.
In the press against actually Polokwane City midweek. I mean, you need goals to win. It's been brilliant since he took over.
Team that's not so make sure?
It's Kaizer Chiefs. They're not impressive. They are not improving. You will think they are winning. They are not improving.
I'm done with you. Mkwanza, player of the week.
Player of the week, Umodi. For me, 3 goals in the last in the last 2 matches.
And which team is not make sure?
I was showing in stress, man. Cape Town space. I'm in stress.
Pro.
What you were saying is
his mic's off this one. Pro.
Ribeiro is my player of the week. And
second Sundowns player to take it in 2 weeks. And then the team is Cape Town Spurs. There we go. We've got to get out of here. Take the calls immediately. Moving on. Let's start with your voice notes.
Molweni ma teno abuyile bavuma abegqibega player of the week Alende Master
again.
Ndiphinde i-team endijongileyo kule weekend phakathi kwe-Kaizer Chiefs ne-Sundowns. I-Sundowns izawina ngo-3-0. Sundowns iyawina ngo-3-0. Danko ma.
Thank you. Sebo. Next one.
Good evening, Metro FM, and good evening, Andile, to your panel as well.
Hey, Podcast Fridays.
Jabulani Blom is a quality player. I don't know Hugo Bruce, what kind of evaluation or what kind of assistant he needs to so that he can be convinced so that Jabulani Blom can play in Bafana because Jabulani Blom is playing there in America and he's a quality player.
All right, thank you very much. One more.
But it's just being overlooked by this coach that we have.
Andile, Jimmy Maga, the busy con of Motsepe, Propilani, Nedin, Maparaga, Spium Konza, Leremo, Esmafetu, Kabushunare, Roger Sundowns Hona, Kaizer Bullets, Jimmy Maga, the busy con of Motsepe, Tango.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Class. Class is out in Pretoria, wants to speak about Sundowns. Class, are you there? Okay, Class is... Who's it? Yeah, there. Class?
Yes, I can hear you. Clear.
Go for it, man.
I agree with you. Mkonda tried to explain, but I didn't even hear him. Mkonda is a Chiefs supporter.
Never.
They wish.
Which team to support?
They wish. But tomorrow Sundowns will win. They got superior players. Even the Chiefs coach, they can take those where we benefited last year. Maybe 2 games or 3 games, 9 points, they can take it. But we're still going to win that league.
Class in Pretoria, I appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Let's go to Peter. Peter's out in Brits. Peter, hi, how are you?
Straight to the what I want to say. When I look at the Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns game, without any fear or favor, I go with Mamelodi Sundowns, considering the fact that Kaizer Chiefs, for my side, they can't make, and they don't have quality that can make Sundowns. I go with Sundowns. They're going to win 2-0 and then for Sunday, Orlando Pirates, they're going to win.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that all the way in Brit. Sakumzi, use the hashtag Podcast Friday. It says Maswangai had a way better week than Ribeiro. I would have understood if you guys chose Allende. Bull says the disrespect for Kaizer Chiefs, former Kaizer Chiefs coaches and players is now annoying. Chiefs has not been lucky, but worked hard for all they have won. Sundowns or any other club has also had decisions to benefit them there. Speaking of course, what Rulani had to say, everybody needs a friend like Nadim. He is not in the business of being politically correct or sugarcoating. He's 100% correct on both Bruce regarding Blom and Kaizer Chiefs, also about Bartlett. That is Usakumzi. Let's go now to, who's there? West.
Hi, Mr. President and everybody in the studio.
It's been a while, man, West. Go for it.
It has been a while. It's going to be a tough weekend, and I think Kaizer Chiefs, they're going to come back a little bit better because, I mean, we know against Sundowns, it's only luck can go their way, but this time, unfortunately, it's not going to happen. I think Sundowns have built a great thing going there. And, yeah, it's going to be a tough one. But, yeah, I see Sundowns beating Chiefs 3-0 as well.
Wow.
And, yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be like that. And good luck to Ntseki. I hope the supporters won't come with missile and grenade.
I don't even want to entertain it. It mustn't happen. Let's go to Soweto now. Western Tembisa, thank you so much. Kilopetse is out in Soweto. Kia?
Hey, Shapu.
No, Shapu, man. Talk to me.
Number one, Mamela. Wabona usani bashimani le banna ba agohana bashimani ba ko phefeni ba tla bonala banna ba ko Mamelodi ba tla bonala
or bashimani ba ko kae
bashimani ba ko phefeni ba tla bonahala banna ba ko Pitori ko Mamelodi ba tla bonahala.
I wish next week in Kabu alone after game out tomorrow.
Ebe ke shapa pagania shapa.
Oh, we clearly know who Kepeti supports. Thank you so much. Let's go to Lisibe. Lisibe is out in Egurleni. Then we'll go to Sam. Sam will be our last one. Lisibe.
Good evening, guys, and good evening to everyone in the studio, including the one.
Nadim is here. I know you want Nadim. Go for it.
Yeah, no. Today I agree with Nadim.
Yeah?
No, without a doubt. I think Hugo Bruce, as much as he likes to call a spade, I think he's disingenuous with the truth. First of all, apart from our goalkeeper, Peterson's mistakes, he has been absolutely superb for Kaizer Chiefs. And for Maela to be selected for the national team while he's not a regular. I think that doesn't sound a very good message.
Thank you so much, Mandisiba. I appreciate it. He agrees with Nadim. It's the first time the two of them, you can't even listen to the radio when they go at each other. Let's go to Soshanguve. Sam.
Hey, how are you?
Go Sosha, so get to favor in Marabolel.
Me brasta wa tsara ke go Sosha, wa ke favor. Ke di ke le mapara ka ta. Ya manyora dumela after wa tsara ke favor ma anna ke favor Chiefs webo.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Now the favor Chiefs, the favor Chiefs. But the way Chiefs is playing right now, let us be honest. No, Chiefs is not gonna make it. If they keep on playing the way they are playing, Chiefs, when they go,
so they're not playing well.
They're winning games. They've won 2. They've scored 5 goals. What do you want?
Andile, winning is not enough if you are not playing good sometimes. Even they go forward, they can make the 5 passes. Mkonza knows that, but he's not going to agree.
Mkonza, do you agree?
Not agree.
I like what you just said. Guti, when you are a Kaizer Chiefs, getting results is not enough. You also need to play well.
No, the question is, do you agree or not?
Sasha, do you agree that Chiefs are not playing well?
Yeah, it's evolution.
Yes. So what were you arguing?
Propilani out in Durban. I appreciate you. The Podcast Friday guys. I'm Nadim as well as Mkonza. My name is Andile Ncube. Podcast Fridays. Trust me when I say this. This is the biggest thing that happens in football on a Friday. It doesn't get bigger than this. Bon, le mapara. Pela pela nganzomi.